Okay. So hello guys. So for this video discussion, we will talk about deductions. So ano nga ba yung deduction? So before we dive in sa deductions, let's talk about muna yung ating pro forma kapag nagko-compute tayo ng income tax. Okay? Sa individual taxpayers natin, tama, meron tayo nung sales or syempre yung gross receipts plus non-operating income. Pag in-add mo yung dalawa, mako-compute natin si gross income. Less allowable deductions, mako-compute mo yung net taxable income. Yung net taxable income, i-multiply mo sa percentage natin, mako-compute natin yung tax due. Then less any tax credits if applicable, makukuha natin yung tax payable. Yung income tax payable na to, yung nasa dulo, yan yung tax na required bayaran si taxpayer. Ito for individual taxpayer. Medyo nagkaroon ng variation kapag corporate taxpayer kasi yung pro forma na ginagamit natin usually is yung sales plus non-operating income, tapos i-less mo muna yung cost of goods sold para ma-compute mo yung gross income natin. Less allowable deductions, makukuha natin yung net taxable income times the applicable tax rate, makukompute mo yung tax due, less tax credit if meron man, makukompute mo yung tax payable. So basically, it's the same. Ang nagkaiba lang is yung cost of goods sold. Nililess mo muna yung cost of goods sold sa corporations para makompute mo yung gross income. Kay individuals kasi, yung cost of goods sold kasama dito sa allowable deductions. Okay? Sige. So, sa isang video discussion natin, we've talked about the gross income. Yung gross income, sinabi ko doon, any other income, whether from legal or illegal sources, are taxable. Sabi ko doon, taxable kay income tax. Okay, taxable yan kahit from legal or illegal sources. Yun yung composition ng sales or receipts natin. Okay. Doon sa gross income na yan, mayroon tayong tinawag doon na inclusions and exclusions. Okay? Kailangan mong i-differentiate kasi yung exclusions versus dito sa deductions. Okay? Ito yung topic natin for today, yung may asterisk, allowable deductions. Ano ba yung exclusions na sinasabi ko doon sa gross income na yun? Just to give you a quick recap. Sinabi doon, exclusions are an income. Okay? Income si exclusion. But sabi, hindi daw kasama sa gross income. Bakit daw? Kasi it's either exempted under the law. Okay, meron ka daw na-receive na income pero sabi exempted sa law. So, income siya pero hindi na siya kasama sa gross income or gross receipts mo. Okay, kailangan mo siyang i-differentiate sa deduction kasi ano bang definition ng deduction? These are necessary expense that are allowed only as a deduction. So, yung exclusions natin, excluded na mismo siya sa gross income. Exempted na siya. So, hindi na siya part nung gross income natin dito. Okay? Yung allowable deduction, part siya ng gross income. Pero kasi para makuha mo daw yung gross income, meron kang mga expenses na ginamit. Yung mga ordinary expenses mo, yung mga necessary expenses mo, yun daw yung allowable deductions. Yun lang yung difference nila. Okay, magkaiba yung exclusion sa allowable deduction. Sa exclusions, hindi na talaga part ng gross income. Yung deduction, merong income na na-incur sa gross income, tapos pwede mo lang daw siyang bawasan mo lang daw siya to reduce the tax burden. Okay, yan yung deduction natin. Mukha mo yun. Sige. Ngayon, under the tax code, in accordance with the section 34 of the tax code, sinabi doon, allowable deductions can either be, number 1, yung itemized deduction. And number 2, meron tayong tinatawag na optional standard deduction. So, iisa-isahin natin to. Pinakamadali dito yung optional standard deduction. Kasi ano bang meron kay optional standard deduction? 40% na yan of gross income. Mamaya discuss natin yan. Okay, ulitin ko lang kapag usapang deductions in accordance with the section 34 of the National Internal Revenue Code or the Philippine Tax Code, sinabi doon dalawa yung pwede mong i-claim as itemized deduction. It's as allowable deduction. It's either itemized deduction or an optional standard deduction. Okay, provided na isa lang yung pwede mong i-claim dito Pag claim mo yung itemized deduction, hindi mo pwedeng i-claim si optional standard deduction and vice versa tayo. Okay, yan si allowable deductions. Bago tayo mag-derive sa itemized deduction, bago tayo mag-drive in sa itemized deduction, discuss muna natin ano ba yung basic principles, yung mga kailangan mong tandaan para maging deductible itong mga itemized deduction na to or yung mga requisites in order for them to be claimed as deduction. Number 1 requisite daw, sinabi daw, it must be ordinary and necessary. Bakit mo na-incur yung deduction na yan? Bakit mo na-incur yung expenses na yan? Kasi sir, necessary. Sa pag-incur, para makuha ko yung gross income, necessary ko yung expenses na yan. Kaya, sabi daw dapat, ordinary and necessary. Let's say, for example, you are selling a pen. Para mabenta mo yung pen, tama, isa sa necessary expenses mo is yung mga materials dito sa pen na to. Yun yung part ng cost of goods sold mo. Yung expenses mo na yun, allowable deduction mo yun. Okay, ano pa? For example, kung mahina yung sales mo, kailangan mong magkaroon ng marketing expenses. Yung marketing expenses mo, necessary sa business mo. Sabi daw, expense ba daw yun? Okay, dapat ordinary and is necessary. And sinabi dito, dapat daw, number 2, properly substantiated. Anong ibig sabihin ng properly substantiated? Dapat daw, it is evidence by receipt. Okay, hindi naman pwede daw gawa-gawa mo lang yung expenses mo. Dapat daw may ebidensya na meron ka talagang ganyang expense. Ano yung isang ebidensya natin dyan? Resibo. Okay? Kapag claim mo yung itemized deduction, ipakita mo rin kay government, kay BIR, yung resibo na nagamit mo, yung resibo to support that expense. Okay? Kasi kapag mangyayari dyan, pag nagpapas ka ng ITR, kasama yung financial statements mo. Okay, nandun yung allowable deduction mo, nandun yung operating expenses mo, hahanapin, saan tong operating expenses na to? Patingin nga ako ng resibo. Kailangan mong i-prepare yung resibo. Ipapakita mo yan kay BIR. Okay, dapat properly substantiated. Pag meron kang expenses doon, walang resibo, hindi yun ika-claim as allowable deduction. Kuha mo yun. Sige. Next, dapat daw, it must not be illegal, immoral, or against the public policy. Sir, bakit? Kasi sabi mo, sir, di ba, yung gross income, whether from legal or illegal sources, taxable yan? Yes. Pero yung expenses mo na na-incur mo from illegal sources, hindi yun allowable deduction. Yun yung consequence nun. Illegal nga eh. Okay? Yung illegal, taxable. Pero yung expenses mo from illegal sources, hindi yun deductible. Tandaan mo na lang yun. Isa pa. For example, nakakuha ka ng income, nag-incur ka ng expenses. From what? Kickbacks. Bribes. Sabi daw, illegal yun. Against public policy yun. Sabi daw, hindi siya allowable deduction. Okay? Dapat ordinary and necessary, dapat may resibo, and dapat hindi against the public policy. Okay tayo. And sabi daw, dapat in compliance with the withholding taxes. Paano in compliance with withholding taxes? Naalala mo yung discussion natin sa creditable withholding tax? Yan yun. Okay? Let's say for example, ikaw, okay? Ikaw, meron kang company. Tapos ako is isang employee. Or ako, service provider mo ko. Okay, kailangan mo ng consultant, kailangan mo akong i-consult, binigyan mo ko ng sahod, service provider mo ko. Tama? Point of view mo. Point of view mo na may business, meron kang expense. Point of view ko, meron akong income galing sa'yo. Tama yung income ko na galing sa'yo, na ibibigay mo sa akin, dapat daw i-withhold mo yung certain percentage niyan. Yun yung concept ng creditable withholding tax natin. Tama? For example, compensation withholding tax. I-withhold mo yung part ng part ng compensation ko, yung ibibigay mo lang sa akin is yung net of tax na compensation. Dapat daw yung expense na binigay mo, let's say for example sa akin, sa supplier mo, dapat daw properly withholded yung tax. Na-withhold mo yung appropriate tax na sinabi sa batas. Pag sinabi sa batas, 5% yung dapat i-withhold mo kasi ito yung requirement ng batas, dapat withhold mo yung 5% talaga sa kanila. Okay? Pag hindi mo daw na-withhold properly or improperly mo na-withhold yung taxes na yun sa creditable withholding tax nila, sa point of view nila, sabi daw, hindi mo daw siya pwedeng i-claim as allowable deduction. Okay? Number 4, dapat in compliance with the withholding tax. Sana malinaw yan ha? Okay, but don't worry, in accordance with IOPTA, okay, ease of paying taxes, this provision, yung number 4 natin, is already repealed. So kahit hindi mo daw appropriately na withhold yung taxes, sabi daw, pwede mo na daw siyang i-claim as allowable deduction. So before IOPTA lang naman yan. Kuha mo yun ha? Sige, after IOPTA, hindi mo na kailangan yung number 4. Kay 1, 2, and 3 ka na lang. Sige. Let's move on. Okay. Alam mo na yung basic principles ha. Yung deductions ulit natin, these are necessary expenses to be claimed para makompute mo yung net taxable income natin na dapat daw evidence by receipt or merong resibo or dapat properly substantiated and dapat it must not be from illegal sources. Yung expenses mo from illegal sources or public or against the public policy, it must not be deductible. Okay tayo? Sige, unahin natin yung mahirap sa dalawang deductions na yan. Si itemized deduction. Si itemized deduction, guys, marami yan. Okay? So, i-categorize na lang natin sila based, syempre, marami yan, hindi ko mababanggit lahat yan, pero i-categorize na lang muna natin kung ano yung mga importante na sinabi sa batas. Okay? Sige si itemized deduction, para for the ease of memorization, i-categorize, sub-categorize natin siya into ordinary and special deductions. Okay, ordinary deductions, classify ko siya as ordinary deductions kasi yung alam mo sa accounting purposes natin or accounting related concepts natin, the same lang yun dito. Yung expenses mo sa accounting related expenses, the same lang sa taxation. Pero syempre doon sa mga nanonood na hindi accounting students, discuss natin sila legibly. Ano meron sa special deductions? Dito sa special deductions, merong possible additional deduction, merong limitations, merong deduction doon sa deduction, i-discuss natin sila. Okay, yan yung special deduction. Unahin mo natin si ordinary deductions. 5 lang yan. Gamitin na lang natin yung mnemonics natin na B, B, D, D, L. Okay, B, B, D, D, L. Paano babasahin? Bubududul. Okay, itemized deduction under ordinary na deductions natin. Mnemonics natin, bubududul stands for business expense, bad debts, deductible taxes, depreciation and depletion, and these losses. Isa-isahin natin yan. Okay? Ano yung mnemonics natin for special? Sabi dyan, SCRIPOL. SCRIPOL stands for S, Senior Citizens and Persons with Disabilities, Charitable and Other Contributions, Research and Development Expense, Interest Expense, Pension Trust Contributions, Labor and Trading Expense, tapos itong EAR, which stands for Entertainment, Amusement, and Recreational Expense. Okay, ordinary deductions natin, bubududul. Special deductions natin, SCRIPOL. Isa-isahin natin, discuss natin ng mas malinaw. Puntahan natin yung bad debts expense. Okay, ordinary deductions muna tayo 5 to, bubududul. Una natin ulit, business expense. Tama? Sa business expense, hindi na natin kailangan i-discuss to legibly. Basta ang tatandaan mo lang dito, any other expenses na na-incur mo dahil meron kang business, let's say for example, cost of goods sold, marketing expenses, administrative expenses, salaries, pensions or salaries, rents, yung mga expenses na nagagamit mo usually pag nagkakaroon ka ng business, they are deductible as long as, yung requisite ulit natin, they are ordinary and necessary, they are properly substantiated, and they are not from illegal or they are not immoral or against the public policy. Yan yung business expenses. So let's drive in na agad sa bad debts expense natin. Ano bang meron kay bad debts expense? Actually, si bad debts expense for the purposes ng mga non-accountant students dyan na gusto lang mag-aral ng tax natin, bad debts refers to the expected loss or the portion of receivables. Okay, the portion of receivables that are deemed uncollectible. Okay, that are deemed uncollectible. Usually kasi sa businesses, in order for them to be prudent, yung accounts receivable nila from their customers, they are assessing it usually yearly. Okay, ina-assess nila yearly, magkano ba yung amount na hindi ko makokolekta dito? Baka kasi possible, hindi ko na makolekta lahat. Okay, yun yung bad debts daw. Yun yung bad debt. Allowance for doubtful accounts kapag accountancy. Okay, anong rules natin dito? Sa accountancy kasi, sa financial accounting and reporting, kapag nagko-compute ng net income, they are recognizing bad debts expense when it is probable. Okay? Or merong possibility na hindi makolekta lahat yung expense o yung receivables. Pero sabi sa taxation, point of view ni taxation, you can only claim this bad debts or this bad debt if it is already certain. Okay? Or it is completely uncollectible. Ito yung sinabi sa batas. Ito yung konting difference lang. Sa mga accountancy students, huwag kang malilito. Yung allowable deductions kapag taxation, dapat daw certain and completely uncollectible na. Okay, kapag i-entryhan natin yan, usually, kung familiar ka sa entry natin, kapag probable and may possibility na hindi mo makolekta yung certain percentage ng receivable natin, mag-e-entry ka ng bad debts, expense, credit ka ng allowance for doubtful accounts. Hindi daw itong bad debts expense daw na yan, expense yan, sa income, sa financial accounting and reporting, pero sabi sa taxation, hindi pa daw yan allowable deduction. Okay, bakit? Kailan ka daw magdideduct kapag completely uncollectible na daw? Or kapag ginawa mo na tong entry na to, yung write-off natin, which is nagde-debit ka ng allowance for doubtful accounts and nagke-credit ka ng accounts receivable na. Okay, sabi daw, kapag ganito na yung entry mo, yung uncollectible portion ng accounts receivable, yun na yung hindi mo makokolekta. O yun na yung allowable deduction mo. Okay, ulitin ko para mas malinaw. Medyo magulo yata. Si bad debts expense, ang concept lang ni bad debts expense, meron kang accounts receivable from your customer. So, gross income mo yun. Tama, kasi sales mo yun. Sinabi daw, yung portion ng receivable mo dun, hindi mo na daw siya makokolekta. Okay? Kapag probably na-estimate mo na 60% ng receivables hindi mo na makokolekta, under financial accounting and reporting, yung 60% na yun, expense na nila yun para makompute yung net income. Pero sa taxation purposes, kiklaim mo lang daw siya as deduction, yung bad debts na yun, kapag 100% sure, hindi mo na makokolekta yung receivable na yun. Para mas malinaw, puntahan natin itong prepare ko na illustration. Illustration muna na to. Sabi, si ABC Corporation is a VAT-registered domestic corporation. It sells products on credit. Utang daw yan. Okay, so ibig sabihin, meron siyang accounts receivable. On March 2024, ABC Corporation has a customer accounts receivable amounting to 100,000. By December 2024, the company determines that, una, based on historical data and current economic conditions, there is 70% chance that the amount won't be collected. So yung 70% daw ng 100,000 hindi mo daw makokolekta. So that's 100,000 times 70% is equal to 700,000. Sa financial accounting and reporting, i-entryhan mo na yan, debit ka ng bad debts expense, credit ka ng allowance for doubtful accounts, 700,000. Okay? Meron kang ITR, meron kang sales, meron kang allowable deductions is equals to net taxable income. Tama. Sa taxation purposes, meron kang sales, magkano yung sales mo? 100,000 or 70,000 lang pala to. 70,000. 100,000 pala. So magkano sales mo? 100,000. Sa taxation purposes, dito sa number 1 na to, magkano allowable deductions mo? 0 pa. 100,000 pa rin yung net taxable income mo. Okay tayo? Next, under accounting standard, this qualifies for the bad debt expense recognition. Sabi dyan. Next, however, the customer declares bankruptcy in June 2025. Kailan ba to? December 2024. So by 2024, hindi mo daw pwedeng i-claim to as deduction. Next, in 2025, an ABC Corporation determines that the amount is now fully uncollectible. ABC Corporation writes off the 100,000 in June 2025. Surprisingly, in October 2026, the customer pays 50,000 of the written off amount. Uy, ano nangyari dyan? I-illustrate natin ng mas malinaw. Si ABC, merong customer. Si ABC, merong receivable from this customer. Okay, meron siyang receivable Magkano daw? 100,000. Ano yung receivable na yan? Income yan. Okay, kasi meron ka dyang debit receivable, credit ka ng sales. So, income ni ABC, itong 100,000 na yan. Sabi, in 2024, 70% or yung 70,000 uncollectible. Yung 70,000, hindi pa pwedeng i-claim as allowable deduction in the year 2024. Kuha mo yun. Noong 2025, ano nangyari? Noong 2025, let's say for example, i-assume ulit natin yung sales ni ABC is nasa 100,000. Tapos meron siyang allowable deduction. Makocompute mo yung net taxable income. Magkano allowable deduction? Sinabi dyan, yung buong 100,000 hindi na daw makokolekta. It is certain na daw. Kaya ni-write off na daw niya. Fully uncollectible na daw siya. So ibig sabihin, allowable deduction mo dito, 100,000. Net taxable income mo, 0 na. Yun yung concept na sinasabi ko. Kapag fully uncollectible tapos certain ka na or nag-write off ka na, 100,000 na yung allowable deduction mo. Dito, it is still probable. Probable lang. May chance pa lang. Hindi pa yun deductible. Okay, ano nangyari ng 2026? Noong 2026, ang nangyari, nakolekta daw eventually yung 50,000, na-claim mo na siya as allowable deduction. Balikan mo ngayon yung concept na diniscuss natin sa gross income, which is yung tax benefit rule. Ano yung tax benefit rule doon? Kapag previously, claim mo as deduction yung isang bagay, claim mo siya as allowable deduction, tapos eventually, hindi pala siya talaga allowable deduction. Okay? Naging income daw siya eventually. So, yung 50,000 na nakolekta mo dito, magiging part na yun ng gross income mo na 100 or na 50,000. Okay? Balikan ko ha. Bakit siya naging income, sir? Kasi bigla mo daw nakolekta. Bigla mong nakolekta yung alin? Yung in-expense mo na before. In-expense mo na before yung 50,000, yung 100,000, tama? Uncollectible na to, bigla mo siyang nakolekta. So, itong 50,000 daw na yan, magiging part siya ng income mo. Kailan? 2026. Kasi 2026 mo siya nakolekta. So, yan for bad debts expense. Ulitin ko lang ha. Bad debts expense, ang usapan dito, meron kang expected loss. It is a portion of receivable that are deemed uncollectible. Sa taxation purposes, i-claim mo lang siya as deduction kapag naging certain or completely uncollectible na yung receivable mo. Kuha mo yon. Sige. Next tayo sa bubududul natin, yung isang D natin, deductible taxes. This is in accordance with Section 34, Paragraph C. Sinabi doon, taxes are deductible only if, okay, if it is necessary in the conduct of business. Okay, deductible taxes are deductible only if they are necessary in the conduct of business, and if these taxes is considered as an expense. So examples na lang. Example natin, real property tax, other percentage tax, foreign tax. Itong foreign tax credit, dalawa yan. Dalawa yung foreign tax credit natin dito. Kasi kapag usapang foreign tax credit, which i-discuss din natin na separate video discussion, si foreign tax credit kasi meron ka dyang option. Option to claim as deduction or option to claim as tax credit. Okay, pag meron kang foreign tax credit, ang concept dyan, meron kang income from foreign sources. From foreign sources, tama, dinidaktan din yun ng tax. Tinaksan ka din from your foreign country. Kasi nga, income din nila yun from the foreign country. Pero let's say, for example, resident citizen ka dito, taxable pa rin yung foreign tax credit dito. Parang, it is very burdensome kapag tinax ka na doon, tapos itatax ka ulit dito. Kaya ang sinabi, yung tinax mo daw doon, pwede mo na lang siyang i-claim as deduction dito. Meron ka nga lang option. Sabi daw, pag meron kang foreign tax credit, pwede mo daw siyang i-claim as part ng allowable deduction or part dito sa tax credit. Okay? Or yan it's either of the two. Pag claim mo na as tax credit, hindi mo na siya pwedeng i-claim as allowable deduction. So yan kapag foreign tax credit huwag ka mag-alala, di-discuss din natin yan in a separate video discussion. Okay? Next, import duties. Example din daw yan ng deductible tax and yung local business taxes. Ano yung hindi example daw? Pag meron ka daw binayaran na income tax, transfer tax, value added tax, and any others that are not related to business. Sir, kailangan ko bang i-memorize yan? Hindi. Pero ano kailangan mong gawin? Dapat maging familiar ka sa pag-conduct ng business. Kasi sinabi dito, taxes are deductible only if it is necessary in the ordinary course or in the conduct of business. Ano ba yung real property tax? Amilyar yan. Yan yung tax na binabayaran doon sa building mo. Okay? So kapag wala yung tax na binayaran mo or hindi ka nagbayad ng real property tax doon sa building na pinagpapatayuan ng business mo, abay, i-close yung business mo na yun. So kailangan mong bayaran yan. So necessary expense yan. Okay? Ano yung other percentage tax? Yung other percentage tax na yan, additional taxes yan doon sa sales mo. So allowable deduction din yan. Okay, didiscuss din natin separately si other percentage tax as well as si transfer tax and si value added tax. Basta isipin mo na lang, si other percentage tax, part siya ng deductible tax. Si value added tax, hindi siya part ng deductible tax kasi dito, nagkakaroon ka ng indirect tax. Pag sinabing indirect tax kasi, pinapasa mo yung tax from other taxpayers. Hindi ikaw yung nagbabayad mismo ng tax. Okay? Okay si income tax. Sir, si income tax, bakit hindi siya deductible taxes? Saan ba nako-compute si income tax? Saan ba nako-compute si income tax dito? Ito, yung tax payable, yung tax due, after mong mahanap yung net taxable income. So, hindi na siya part ng allowable deduction mo. Okay tayo doon. And kasi, kapag income tax kasi, kapag hindi mo kasi binayaran si income tax natin, hindi ibig sabihin na yung business mo is illegal na. Hindi naman ipapasara agad yung business mo kapag hindi mo binayaran yung income tax. Si real property tax kasi, or for example, meron kang any other regulatory taxes, yung mga taxes kasi na yun, ipapasara yung business or hindi ka pwedeng mag-operate kapag hindi mo binayaran yung taxes na yun. Si income tax kasi, hindi ibig sabihin na pag hindi mo binayaran yung income tax, yung business mo is illegal na. So, hindi nila ipapasara agad yung business natin. Okay? So, familiarize mo na lang muna yung sarili mo sa mga list. Basta yan yung mga deductible taxes natin. Kuha mo yon. Ito lang yung medyo mahihirapan ka si foreign tax credit kasi nga meron yung option. It's either to be claimed as allowable deduction or to be claimed as a tax credit. Okay tayo? Sige. Next, dun sa pangalawang D natin, depreciation and depletion. Anong meron doon? In accordance with Section 34C, depreciation refers to a reasonable allowance for an exhausted wear, tear, including obsolescence. Sir, ano yan? Hindi ko maintindihan. Simple lang. Yung depreciation and depletion, it applies only to property, plant, and equipment. Meron kang building. Okay, meron kang real property. Yung building na yon, kapag lumilipas yung oras, lumilipas yung panahon, kapag ginagamit mo, tama na bumababa yung value. Parang phone mo. Yung phone mo, pagkabili mo dyan, magkano yung value niyan? 20,000 pesos. Isang araw yung lumipas, ginamit mo, tama, hindi mo na siya kayang ibenta from the same amount na 20,000 pesos for a reason kasi na ginamit mo na. Bumaba na yung value. Yung value daw na binababa ng real property mo, yun yung depreciation na tinatawag natin. Okay, ngayon yung depreciation daw, kapag depletion naman, it applies to mining. Yung depletion, mining companies yan. Pero usually, depreciation tayo kapag yung depreciation mo is an allowable deduction daw. Sinabi ni Batas. In accordance with Section 34C. Okay, depreciation. As long as they are reasonable. Kuha mo yon. Okay, ulitin ko Concept lang ng depreciation ulit. Expense yan na ginagamit mo na i-incur mo. Bakit? Kasi ginagamit mo yung real property na binili mo before. Okay? Si depreciation, diniscuss ko from separate topic pero nasa financial accounting and reporting na yon under the concept of PPE. Kung gusto mong mais maintindihan si depreciation, punta ka na lang sa video discussion natin doon. Okay? Yung rules sa depreciation, tama, sinabi ko sa inyo, kapag ordinary deduction, same rules lang tayo sa financial accounting and reporting na discussions natin. Si depreciation, sabi sa batas, sabi ni BIR, pwede mo daw i-claim si depreciation kahit anong method yung gamitin mo. Yung mga alam mong method, meron ka ng straight line method, double declining method, sum of the years digit, pwede mo daw siyang i-claim as deduction. Yung depreciation expense na na-compute mo doon, yun yung allowable deductions mo din kay taxation. Kuha tayo. Sige, ito lang yung kailangan mong tandaan na additional information kapag depreciation and depletion. Kapag daw meron kang property, plant, and equipment that are to be depreciated, pero part daw siya ng luxury assets. Okay, luxury assets daw siya. Okay, ano daw ang example ng luxury asset? Unang-una, meron ka daw yate. Meron kang helicopter or aircraft daw, social. Or pwede daw land vehicle. Provided na yung land vehicle magiging luxury siya kapag it exceeds, yung value niya, it exceeds 2.4 million pesos. Okay, kapag yung value ng land vehicle sumobra ng 2.4 million, consider daw siya as luxury assets. Ano bang meron sa luxury assets, sir? Sabi sa luxury assets, kapag meron ka daw luxury assets, yung depreciation expense na nako-compute mo raw dito, they are non-deductible. Okay? Hindi daw allowable deductions yung mga yan. Kuha mo yon? Kuha mo Okay, pag luxury asset ulit, which is yung example, sinabi sa Section 34C, yate, helicopter, aircraft, or land vehicle that is exceeding 2.4 million pesos, they are non-deductible daw. Yung depreciation expense from these sources are non-deductible. Isa pa, sir, ibig sabihin ba pag land vehicles, as long as hindi sumobra ng 2.4 million pesos, deductible na siya? Yes. Okay, yes. For example, yung value 1 million pesos, gagamitan mo ng useful life of 10 years. Okay, so meron kang depreciation expense na 100,000 peso yearly. Yung 100,000 depreciation expense mo, allowable deduction mo yun. Provided na si land vehicle, sinabi daw, dapat only one vehicle per employee. Okay, per employee. For example, binigyan mo ng land vehicle na fringe benefit si employer or si employee mo. Okay? Ilan yung binigay mong kotse? Dalawa. Na ang value is 1 million pesos. Aba, isa lang yung pwede mong i-claim as deduction. Hindi pwede yung dalawang 1 million. Okay, dapat yung isa lang doon na kotse. Kuha mo yon. Ulitin ko, land vehicle dapat hindi sumobra ng 2.4 million para maging part ng allowable deduction yung depreciation expense na nako-compute mo rito. Okay tayo. Marami pa ang additional dito. Hindi na kasya kasi. Pero babanggitin ko na lang. Kapag yung company mo is a service contractor in petroleum exploration or production. Okay? For example, yung main business niya is mag-explore ng petroleum. Okay? Or production of the petroleum. Sabi daw, yung mga PPE daw nila, it can only be depreciated for a maximum period of 10 years. Okay, so i-compare mo siya, 10 years versus dun sa useful life. For example, yung service contractor in a petroleum exploration, merong building na amounting to 5 million pesos. Okay, merong building amounting to 5 million pesos. Sinabi yung building daw, it is estimatedly to be used for a period of 20 years. Sinabi sa batas dapat maximum of 10 years. So, i-compare mo, 20 versus 10 years, ano yung mas mababa? 10 years. So, yung depreciation expense ng 5 million, i-assume natin straight line method tayo, i-divide mo lang ng 10 years, 5 million, divide mo lang ng 10 years, yung depreciation expense mo yearly is 500,000. Yung allowable deduction mo yearly is 500,000. Okay? So, yan for depreciation expense. So, let's move on. Let's talk about losses. Anong meron kay losses? Okay, tatlo ang losses na allowable deduction na pwedeng i-claim as deductible expense sa taxation. Una si casualty losses. Anong meron kay casualty losses? Yan yung mga losses na na-incur mo under fortuitous event or unforeseen event na sinasabi dapat daw it is sudden, it is unexpected, and it is unusual events. Okay, ano yung allowable deductible expense mo kapag nakaroon ka ng casualty losses? Ano example ng casualty losses natin? For example, typhoon. Nasira yung building mo dahil sa typhoon. Yung loss mo from that building is an allowable deduction. Provided daw na ibawas mo yung salvage value. Ano ibig sabihin ng salvage value? Yan yung scrap materials na pwede mo pang ibenta. For example, yung building mo, tama, meron pa naman yung tira-tira. Yung tira-tira doon, pwede mo pang ibenta. For example na lang, for the ease of illustration, pwede mong ibenta sa magbobote. Okay? Yung proceeds doon na na-receive mo, doon sa pagbenta ng scrap materials sa magbobote, is a salvage value. So, yung actual loss daw, o yung actual fair market value, or actual book value, nung PPE mo, less mo yung salvage value, okay? Yun daw yung deductible losses. Provided daw na syempre yung PPE mo, tama, possible insured yun. Meron kang marireceive na proceeds from an insurance company. I-less mo din daw yung amount that are to be received from insurance company. Kaya madiderive yung formula natin dito. Okay, yung actual loss, less salvage value, less the proceeds that to be received na na-receive mo from an insurance company, yun yung total deductible loss mo na pwede mong i-claim as allowable deduction for the purposes of income taxation. Kuha mo yon. Okay. Next. Ito yung pinakamahirap sa losses. Net operating loss carryover. Ano ba yung net operating loss carryover? Tingnan mo yung requisites na lang muna natin dito. Okay? Requisites to be claimed as a net operating loss carryover or net operating loss carryover or the NOLCO na lang muna. Okay? Requisites natin or yung rules natin dito is number 1, dapat daw yung corporation, okay? Isa pa, si net operating loss carryover, it only applies to corporation. Okay? Tulad ko na lang. Corporation only. Corporation only. Net operating NOLCO does not apply to individual taxpayer. Okay, so corporation lang ha. So rules. Dapat daw, nung nakuha mo yung yung loss daw natin, yung nakuha mo yung loss, dapat daw hindi exempted sa income tax yung corporation. Okay, yun yung number 1. And number 2, sabi daw, yung NOLCO na yan, it can only be claimed as deduction if the corporation is subject to MSIT. Or NOLCO cannot be claimed as an allowable deduction. Okay, NOLCO cannot be claimed as allowable deduction if na-subject siya sa MSIT. Bakit? Kasi as a rule, kapag nagkaroon ka ng net income, dito mo lang pwedeng i-claim yung NOLCO natin. Kapag nagkaroon ka ng net loss, hindi mo pwedeng i-claim as deduction yung NOLCO natin. Okay, yun yung isa sa rule. Pwede mo lang i-claim si NOLCO pag nag-result ka na sa net income. Okay, yan yung number 2. Tandaan mo na lang muna yung rules. Discuss natin mamaya sa illustration. Number 3, FIFO basis tayo. Pag sinabing FIFO basis, first in, first out. Yung unang nakuha mong NOLCO, yun yung unang mong ibabawas na NOLCO the moment na magkaroon ka ng net income. Yun yung rules muna natin. Ano ba meron kay NOLCO, sir? Ito ang NOLCO, NOLCO arises if the corporation incurs net loss. Pag during the year, nagkaroon ng net loss si corporation, provided na hindi siya exempt from income tax nung nakuha niya tong net loss na to, yun yung requirement number 1 natin. Okay? Kapag nag-incur na ng net loss si corporation, this loss can be claimed as allowable deduction for the next 3 succeeding years. Okay, it can be claimed as allowable deduction for the next 3 succeeding years. Provided ulit na from that next 3 succeeding years, nag-incur ka ng net income. Ulitin ko para mas malinaw. Ang concept ni NOLCO, for example, 2025 today, tama, nagkaroon ka ng si corporation, nag-incur ng net loss. So yung income statement niya, net loss yung pinakababa. Okay, yung net loss daw na na-incur niya, pwede daw niya i-claim as allowable deduction next year, up to 3 succeeding years daw. Provided nga daw na dapat sa next year, naka-net income siya. Pag naka-net loss siya next year, hindi daw niya pwedeng i-claim as allowable deduction yung NOLCO natin. Okay, para mas maintindihan mo si NOLCO, let's have an illustration. Ito, prepare ko tong illustration na to. Assume that Agua Plus Corporation's income statement shows the following. Meron siyang gross income and allowable deduction ng 2020. Tapos binigay din yung 2021, 2022, 2023. Additional information. Agua Plus incurred a net loss of 10,000 in 20 or 100,000 in 2019. Requirement, compute for the cumulative NOLCO each year that can be claimed as deduction in the succeeding years and to the net taxable income if any. Okay, punta mo yung 2020. Okay, 2019 muna. Noong 2019, tama nagkaroon ka ng net loss of 100,000. Si Agua Plus nagkaroon ng net loss of 100,000. So, ibig sabihin, ng 2019, meron siyang NOLCO of 100,000 pesos. Ulitin ko, yung 100,000 pesos na yan, pwede niyang i-claim up to 3 years. Okay? The moment na magkaroon ng income si corporation. Kuha mo yon. Sige. Next, 2020. Ano ba yung nangyari sa 2020? Ayun, nagkaroon ng net loss of 1 million pesos. So, dito, noong 2020, nagkaroon ng net loss of 1 million pesos. Yung net loss na 1 million pesos na yan, NOLCO ulit yan. Okay? NOLCO ulit yan. Ano mangyari sa 100,000? Pwede ko ba siyang i-claim dito as allowable deduction ng 2020? No. Bakit? Kasi nga, net loss. Ano yung rule natin? Dapat naka-net income. Ano mangyayari sa 100,000 na yan, sir? Pwede ko pa yung i-claim next year. Kasi sabi ko, 3 years mo siya pwedeng i-claim. So, na-incur mo siya ng 100,000, yung NOLCO mo, na-incur mo ng 100,000, hanggang kailan mo siya pwedeng i-claim as deduction? 2019, 2020, 21, hanggang 2022. Kuha mo yon. Okay, 3 succeeding years. Provided daw, okay, bago tayo muli sa illustration, provided that NOLCO can be claimed up to 5 succeeding years. Okay, if such NOLCO is incurred in years 2020 and 2021. Okay, ulitin ko. Yung NOLCO daw, pwede mo siyang i-claim into 5 succeeding years kapag nakuha mo yung NOLCO o yung loss mo ng year 2020 or 2021. This is in accordance with the Bayanihan to Recover Act as 1. Okay, sinabi yan doon sa Bayanihan to Recover Act as 1. So, titingnan natin. 2020. Sir, 2020 nagkaroon ako ng loss. Ibig sabihin ba, sir, yung 1 million pesos, pwede ko siyang i-claim up to 5 years? Yes. Pwede mo siyang i-claim up to kailan? 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, pwede mo siyang i-claim up to 2025. Yung 100,000 dito, pwede mong i-claim up to 2022. 3 years tayo. Sir, ano mangyayari dito sa 100,000 na to? Pwede mo pa rin siyang i-claim up to 2022. Okay, kuha mo? Sige, punta natin yung 2021. O nung 2021, ano nangyari? Uy, nagkaroon ng net income mo na 500,000. So ano mangyayari natin? Yung NOLCO natin, pwede mo na siyang i-claim as allowable deduction. Pag tinanong, magkano yung net income or net taxable income mo ng 2021, tama, meron ka ng gross income of 7 million, meron kang allowable deduction of 6,500,000, tapos nagkaroon ka ng income of 500,000. So ibig sabihin, pwede mong i-claim si NOLCO. Up to magkano? 500,000. So yung net taxable income natin dito, 0 na tayo. Sir, saan nanggaling yung 500,000? First in, first out tayo. Yung 100,000 na na-incur mo ng 2019, pwede mo siyang i-claim dito. Okay, 100,000. Tapos yung 400,000 dun sa natira na ito. Sa 1 million na nakuha mo ng 2020. So pag tinanong, magkano yung NOLCO na pwede mong i-claim as deduction in the next succeeding years, yung NOLCO mo from 2019, 0 na yan. Kasi na-claim mo na ng 2021. Yung NOLCO mo ng 2020, pwede mo na lang i-claim dyan is 600,000. Bakit? Kasi na-claim mo na yung 400,000. Kailan mo ulit? Hanggang kailan mo ulit pwedeng i-claim yung 600,000 dito? 2025. Ito yan. Okay tayo dyan. Kuha mo yung concept ha. Okay. Mag-i-expire siya na lang. Yung NOLCO natin mag-i-expire ng 3 years or 5 years kapag na-incur mo ng 2020 to 2021. Kuha mo yun. Sige, punta natin yung 2022. Ano nangyari sa 2022? Palitan ko yung kulay. Yung 2022, nagkaroon ka na naman ng net loss of 2 million. So, ibig sabihin, kung nagkaroon ka ng net loss of 2 million, yung NOLCO mo na 600,000 ng 2021, hindi mo siya pwedeng i-claim kasi loss ka dito. So, magkano yung accumulated NOLCO na pwede mo pang i-claim up to next year? 600,000 dito, tapos 2 million pesos ng 2022. So, total of 2,600,000. Kuha mo yan? Oh, question. Hanggang kailan ko ulit i-claim yung 600,000? 2025. Hanggang kailan ko i-claim yung 2 million pesos, sir? 2022 na yan. 3 years na lang. 22, 23, 24, 25. Hanggang 2025 lang. Okay. Sir, ano mangyayari kapag hindi ko na-claim yan ng 2020 hanggang 2025? Mag-e-expire. Okay? Mag-e-expire yan. O, puntahan natin yung next illustration. 2023. Nung 2023, loss ka ulit 1 million. O, continuing the illustration, ibig sabihin, hindi mo na naman pwedeng i-claim as deduction to mga to. So, 600K, 2 million. Tapos, magkakaroon ka lang ng additional NOLCO, which is 1 million pesos. Okay? Pag tinanong ulit, magkano yung accumulated NOLCO na pwede mong i-claim for the next succeeding years? 3,600,000. Pinlas mo lang lahat yan. Uulitin ko, hanggang kailan mo makiklaim si 600,000? 2025. Si 2 million hanggang kailan? 2025. Si 1 million hanggang kailan? 3 years na lang yan. Kasi 2023 na. 24, 25, 26. Hanggang 2026. Kuha mo yan. O, next. 2024. Ano nangyari sa 2024? Ay, loss na naman 500,000. So, ibig sabihin, part naman na naman ng NOLCO to. Okay, 2 million, 600,000, 2 million, 1 million. Tapos, additional NOLCO ka na, 500,000. So, magkano na daw addition or NOLCO mo dito? 4,100,000. Okay, hanggang kailan mo na naman pwedeng i-claim yung 500,000 natin? 3 years lang. Okay, 24, 25, 26, hanggang 27. Kuha mo yun. O, next na naman, 2025, wala ka na naman pwedeng i-claim dito. O, puntahan natin. Shortcutin na natin tong 2026. Noong 2026, ano nangyari? Loss ka pa rin ng 200,000. Tama. Kaso, yung pwede mo i-claim yung deductions mo ng 600,000 or NOLCO mo ng 600,000 and 2 million ng 2025. So pag tinanong magkano yung accumulated NOLCO mo ng 2026, ito na lang yun. Yung 2 million mo dito, itong 1 million mo dito, kasi kailan mo pwedeng i-claim tong 2 million na to? Up to 2026. So mag-e-expire yan 2027 pa. Itong 1 million mo hanggang kailan? 2027. Yung 500,000 hanggang kailan? 2028. Tapos nagkaroon ka ng additional dito 300,000. So yan na lang yung null ko natin. That would be 2 million plus 1 million plus 500,000 plus 300,000, 3,800,000. Yung gusto ko lang ituro sa year 2026, mag-e-expire na itong dalawa. Bakit? Kasi nga pwede mo lang siyang i-claim for the year 2025. Okay, ulitin ko lang ulit yung mga rules natin ha. Pag-usapang null ko. Baka nalilito ka na. Tinigil mo na yung video kasi ayaw mo na. Ulitin ko lang, si null ko. Ang concept ni null ko, si corporation lang. Okay, corporation lang to. Si null ko, nag-incur ka ng loss. Yung loss daw, pwede mo daw siyang i-claim as allowable deduction for the next 3 succeeding years. Except pag na-incur mo ng 2020 and 2021 na pwede mong i-claim up to 5 succeeding years. Provided na pwede mo lang i-claim as allowable deduction yung net loss natin kapag nagkaroon ka ng net income for the next succeeding year. Okay tayo doon. And pag natapos yung 3 years or 5 years, mag-e-expire yung null ko natin. Kuha mo yon? Sige. So yun yung null ko natin. So ano pa ba? So actually, tapos na tayo sa ordinary deductions. So let's have a quick recap. Ordinary deductions natin, mnemonics natin, bubududul. Business expense, okay, any other, lahat ng business expense as long as necessary and ordinary and properly substantiated, sabi part daw siya ng allowable deduction. Okay, ano pa? Bad debts. Si bad debts, i-claim mo lang siya as allowable deductions kapag ni-write off na. Okay, kapag certain ka na, pag 100% ka na sure, hindi mo na makukolekta yung receivable mo from customer. Yung deductible taxes, meron kang list dyan. Okay, yung list natin, basta ang importante, ang isipin mo lang dito, kapag real property tax, deductible yan. Bakit? Kasi pag hindi mo binayaran yung real property tax, ipapasara yung building na ginagamit natin. Yung income tax, hindi mo siya i-claim as allowable deduction kasi hindi naman siya nag-take form doon sa net income natin. Okay, foreign tax credit, meron kang option to be claimed as deduction and tax credit which is to be discussed in a separate topic. Transfer tax, value-added tax, and other percentage tax, it must be discussed also in a separate topic. Basta isipin mo na lang si other percentage tax lang yung deductible tax natin. Si income tax, transfer tax, and si value-added tax, hindi yan deductible expense. Okay? O, ano pa ba? Depreciation. Si depreciation, same rules lang tayo sa financial accounting and reporting. Ko-compare mo lang yung depreciable amount, tapos i-divide mo ng useful life, yun yung depreciation expense natin. Exception lang dito kapag mayroon ka daw luxury asset, which is yung yate, yung aircraft, tama, helicopter, and land vehicle that exceeding 2.4 million pesos. Those luxury assets are not deductible. O yung depreciation expense mo from those luxury assets are non-deductible for taxation purposes. And dapat yung land vehicle mo, kahit na hindi umexceed ng 2,400,000 pesos, dapat daw isang land vehicle lang sa isang employee ang pwede mong i-claim as deduction. Okay tayo? Depreciation and depletion. Si depletion, it applies mainly kapag mining companies. And ano pa yung sinabi ko doon? Kapag yung business mo, it engages in petroleum explorations and petroleum productions, yung useful life na pwede mong gamitin is a maximum of 10 years. So, i-compare mo yung useful life ng PPE versus dun sa useful life o dun sa 10 years, whichever is shorter, yun yung gagamitin mo as useful life sa pag-compute ng depreciation expense. Yung losses natin, tatlo yan. Meron kang casualty losses, which is unforeseen events. Net operating loss carryover, which is yung net loss na na-incur mo during the year na pwede mong i-claim up to next 3 succeeding years, provided na naging net income ka for the next year. Okay, and mag-e-expire siya pag natapos yung 3 years or 5 years. Yung capital losses, it will be discussed also in a separate topic. So, hindi ko na pakokomplikatuhin yung utak mo pag-usapang capital losses. So, yan lang muna tayo for deductions. Let's discuss in the next video discussion si special deductions. Good luck and